Hello, my pack, my tribe. Welcome to Taking a Bite Out of Stupid. Tonight's topics include San Andreas fault line and general stupidity. And we're going to get into all that. So welcome. All right. With me, as always, are the lovelies, Ashley and Nora.
Welcome back, everyone.
Okay, so I actually thought up another topic that I'm gonna just touch on tonight. It boggles my mind that people are actually convinced that Biden was behind January 6th. After Trump was seen on his own news network going, we're going to walk down there and we're going to take our country back because you can't have this country with weakness. Blah, blah, blah. Fucking actually said it. Admits that he said it. And yet somehow they're convinced that Biden was responsible. Why would Biden be responsible for attacking the Capitol when they were ratifying the election so that he became president? It's counterintuitive, numbnuts. Anyways. The other thing I wanted to briefly discuss is the San Andreas fault line is cracking. And nobody noticed. That's how chaotic the fucking world is. Half of California... Huh?
Our world is dying.
Half of California is about to fall into the fucking ocean, and nobody's even noticed.
My only question is, how can
because
you
of how
notice?
chaotic this fucking world, this country's turned into. Huh?
I said, how can you not notice when I'm quite certain earthquakes are happening?
But see, that's just it. They haven't.
So if it's cracking,
It's just, it's not shifting, which is what causes an earthquake. It's forming cracks into the fault line.
so basically
Okay,
like a perforated edge.
So basically, if you've ever seen the movie San Andreas, that's about to be
A real thing.
a real thing. California's going to be a chain of violence.
Yeah. All right. California's going to
Now,
become like Hawaii.
There was an article up about this. I don't have access to the article right now. I don't remember where it was. But you can read the article to tell you the exact timeline of when everything's supposed to happen, etc., etc., etc. It may not happen tomorrow. It may happen 10 years from now. I don't know. That's not the fucking point, though. The point is this is like major fucking news, and nobody noticed.
So, those who work with the seismic activity and the fault lines, the earthquakes and all that, those who are surveying the land and whatnot,
Seismologists.
so they're reporting what they're finding, and then no one's taking them seriously.
No, because it's not causing earthquakes. That's what I'm telling you. There's nothing for them to report.
Here we go.
Okay.
The fault line is getting cracks into the fault line. Which is a precursor to a major earthquake.
Yeah, no shit.
Now, this isn't good for a lot of the country, by the way. It's not just going to be California that's affected.
Well, look, they're talking about on the news, because I just looked it up here, and they're saying they're showing like earthquakes and how much snow California's getting. Because I have a buddy up there in California, Northern California, and this will be like the third or fourth time he's snowed in within a month.
Yeah.
California doesn't get that much snow, though. Not supposed to.
Well, they are now. Same thing with all the thunderstorms. We had a thunderstorm in February. Lightning and all.
But here's
I'm
the
in
thing.
Ohio.
If let's say there's a major earthquake and California sinks into the ocean, that's going to be a bad thing here.
We'll feel it here.
A, we'll feel it here, and B, all of that water is going to come like a tidal wave, and there's going to be massive flooding. We'll probably be fine here because we're surrounded by mountains, but Albuquerque might end up underwater.
Okay.
Denver could be affected because if the water comes around the Rockies, they could have massive flooding. Washington and Oregon could both go.
If the whole state of California
if the San Andreas is disturbed enough and it forms new fault lines up through Oregon and Washington, they could both go into the sea. And then the new west coast will be Arizona.
Holy shit, so the desert's going to have water, but not in the way they expect it.
Right, which is going to further change our climate. Which means that places like New Mexico could end up getting a whole lot more rain.
Yeah, no shit. Holy crap. So it's not going to be just high desert.
No, it's going to be everywhere. And it would also affect states back east, like, for example, Ohio is going to start to have weird weather patterns because now the western seaboard is so much closer.
Oh, yeah. The tides and the waves.
That's going to definitely affect the tides because of all that.
And there's also another fault line that runs through the Midwest. Like on the other side of Kansas and Texas and Oklahoma. Separating like up through like Mississippi, from down like Mississippi and Louisiana all the way up. There's another fault line.
Oh, great.
Now, if one goes, the other could go. And if that happens,
Oh, wow.
pretty much...
The day after tomorrow.
Pretty
Yeah.
much... No. Worse. Pretty much what would happen is, like, where she is in Ohio could be underwater.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I'll have to start buying some
Okay.
swimming gear.
Alright. New York, like all the East Coast,
Oh, great.
would either be completely submerged or they would become islands.
Wow.
If that were to happen. So, if the San Andreas does go, we better hope that's it.
Because if the other one goes,
Yeah.
it's screwed.
Very
Because
much.
it's going to cause massive flooding. Anything not, above like X amount of feet, like basically in mountainous areas. Anything not in mountainous areas that's below sea level
Yeah.
is going to be underwater.
Lovely.
A lot of Arizona will actually be okay. Some of it won't, because it actually dips down below sea level. Most of the inhabited areas, however, are above sea level, like Phoenix.
Okay.
Into the thick of it.
And
Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it.
what are you doing?
Sorry.
Ashley.
I did not mean to put whatchamacallit pets on there.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's going to be an interesting part of the podcast.
You were just saying, this is getting too serious.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm done.
Oh, my God.
This is going to be an interesting podcast. Okay.
Okay, enough of the serious stuff.
Oh, I got the giggles. Oh no, and the wiggles. Oh no.
Oh, good. We're about to have some fun.
shit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, my lovely here had...
These were really good gummies, and I can tell you exactly where they're from because I want to support them.
Tell them what kind.
Hold on. I gotta go get the container. Dear.
And we are not official advertisers for this.
No, this is just
So
something
we're not
that
getting any
I
money for it.
personally support.
Right.
This is my personal usage. I'm not paid to do their product. I'm just telling you what this company is. And okay, so I have this app on my phone called Leafy. With Leafy, it can tell you where dispensaries are in your location by taking your navigation or your location on your phone and find where the nearest dispensary is. Well, they can also tell you is what can you buy at these dispensaries? Edibles, vapes, gummies, bud, whatever you may wish. They also tell you, if you look at certain strands of the bud, that the different kinds of highs you get and how they make you feel, like percentage-wise. Some of them have more THC and CBD, and some of them have more CBD than THC. So these gummies, they were giving me a free trial. So I went and clicked on the link, and most of them are like scams. So this time it wasn't. This company that is in, let me see. Okay, So this company is out of manufactured in Laguna Beach, California. It is called 5CBD.com. And what I have is a full spectrum CBD plus THC gummy. I got 25 of them, or 20 of them, for like $10, $11 shipping and handling. They are trying to promote. These are usually roughly around $30, $35 in shipping and handling.
Yeah.
So there is 25 milligrams of CBD in this, and 5 milligrams of THC.
So it's a combo.
Yeah, and what that does is the CBD and the THC actually strengthen each other, right? Because what CBD does is it makes you feel better. It takes your pain away, but it doesn't make you high.
Okay. It doesn't give you the body buzz.
Whereas with the lower THC, the CBD strengthens the THC, giving you a body buzz, but not totally wrecking you high.
Yeah, it's a nice mellow.
So it allows you to...
It's really... So you'd be able to function on it.
Oh, yes, I did. I worked with it. Like, I went to work. I took one about 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning, and I didn't have to take another one. You're supposed to do gummies every, 6 hours or as needed.
Right.
But I ended up taking another one around 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, and it was... I had a nice number buzz on the way home from work. It was nice too.
Yeah, she was a little goofy.
But now I'm mellowing out again because I'm talking serious. So unless something goofy and funny comes up, then I'm gonna go ape shit again. So.
Wow. It's good that you know a comedian because it's guaranteed that something funny and goofy is gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's just a matter of time. All I got.
And then I'm just full of ideas and shit pops in my head, song lyrics, a memory, something that I'd heard or something that I've seen, or it'll be anything that'll pop in.
Yeah, that's generally how it works. Like that's what you
Improv.
feed off of.
Improv.
Well, that's how, like, any good comedian doesn't just write a joke. Any fool can write a joke. They write material, which is different, right?
Yeah.
So, the way
yours is more improv than straight from the head.
Not improv, but like riffed. Because it's different. Like, improv is more like improvised skits, like Saturday Night Live, that kind of thing.
Or whose line?
What I do is more riffing, which is I'm just coming up with shit on the fly a lot of the time.
Yep.
But even then, I have material. It's just not... I don't actually write it out. I just know what I want to say, and I riff to get to it, if that makes sense.
Actually, it
does.
Yeah.
So. It does a lot.
So like I have material about Trump, for example.
Oh no, not again.
Yeah. Yeah, I refer to him as well, let's see. Let's go down the list. I refer to him as the big orange dumpster fire because he's big and orange and destroys everything in his path. I refer to him as the mutant child of Richie Rich and Eric Cartman from South Park. Screw you guys, I'm going to be president.
Dear God,
and screw you guys, I'm going to be president. That's Donald Trump to a T.
I love the poorly educated. Yeah, I bet you do. They're the morons that you get to fucking push your fucking agenda. Nimrod. Hitler loved the poorly educated too. Why do you think he burned books?
He liked blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah. You know what they're doing right now? They're trying to ban books. Oh, I'm sorry if our history makes you feel uncomfortable because the truth hurts. You know who has a problem with that? The fucking idiots in Congress that passed that fucking bullshit. They're the only ones with a problem with that. Nobody else has an issue. No white kid has ever said, well, I feel guilty because of what great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy did.
No, but they're instilling it in their minds, though.
They're actually doing more damage by doing this than if they were just to allow history to be taught. Because at least if history is being taught, they could put it in context.
Yeah.
Because
and hopefully not have history repeat itself.
Well, that's just it. Those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, what are you doing really? I mean, the GOP is like a fucking kitten with the ball of yarn, only the ball of yarn's our country.
Mm-hmm. We're slowly unraveling ourselves to where there's going to be nothing left. And we're going to be back in what did you say today, a recession?
Oh, we're heading for a Great Depression, actually.
That too, yeah.
The 1920 Depression. Yeah.
Well, actually, let me rephrase that. We were heading for a Great Depression because of Trump. Yet Biden, in his first 18 fucking days in office, managed to turn it around. So we're actually doing okay now. It's just taking a while for everything to catch up. Like it usually does. And this is what happens. Every time they raise minimum wage, you have about 3 to 6 months before the cost of living catches up and actually surpasses it a little bit. And they keep it that way so that the average minimum wage earning fucking citizen can't get ahead.
So it doesn't really help then?
No, it doesn't. It actually hurts.
So
every time they raise minimum wage, it actually hurts because the cost of living goes up.
Yeah, and you get put into a higher tax bracket so they can
And
tax
inflation
more
also goes up. See, here's the thing, right? So we get 3 to 6 months of spending time. Well, the more money that we spend, the more inflation is.
Okay.
Right? So you raise inflation, it also raises the cost of living. So it's kind of like inflation is the balloon, and cost of living is the little basket under it.
Gotcha.
Right? So it's just going to happen every time they raise minimum wage. And that's not to say that the people that do that are necessarily have those intentions. A lot of the time that they've raised minimum wage in the past, it's actually been to help. But they're not factoring that in.
No, and unfortunately, the
because unfortunately, Congress, even before this current Congress, which is a bunch of fucking...
We know old white guys. Yeah.
Old white guy fucking white supremacist douchebags. Even the Congress before that had a hard time with this. And they weren't intentionally doing that. They were just trying to help. And like the Republican Party now is not the Republican Party from when I was a kid.
No. No.
Because they used to be, good, not great, but they were good.
They used to actually have the people
would
in mind.
like I would vote Republican sometimes when I did vote.
Okay. See, I never voted for any one party. I always voted on the issues, but for me, it wasn't about who's Republican.
Well,
or
I'm
who's
that way
Democrat.
too. I've always voted for whoever I think's going to do the better job. It didn't matter to me what party they belonged to. And that's what's wrong with America right now. That's why so many people are so convinced that Trump can do no wrong and Biden's like the evil incarnate, is because they're voting party. They're so stuck on their party that they can't see the truth. It's not that they're not capable. They can't see the truth because they have their collective heads so far up the GOP's ass that they can't see the forest through the trees. And they're just constantly fed bullshit from OAN and Fox News. And they believe it. That's a sad thing. I don't hate these people. Like I was telling Ashley that I'm strongly considering just fucking getting rid of my Facebook because their Facebook is owned by Republicans now, and it's heavily leaning towards, Trump. So it's hard to get the truth out there because, that's not my target audience anyways. I'm not going to convince somebody that's hardcore believer of the bullshit. I'm going to convince people that are on the edge, that are teetering, don't really know which way to go. You lay facts on those people, they'll believe it.
Okay.
And the problem is on the other side, these like this whole thing now, they're convinced that Biden was behind January 6th, which first off makes zero sense. I mean, at all. Because why would he sabotage himself in some attempt to make Trump look bad? Trump doesn't need help to look bad.
No, he's doing that perfectly well on his own.
Every single day, it's like, did he really just say that? Did he just fucking say that on national TV? And yet people are, surprisingly, a lot of people are okay with what he's saying. Which is why he's being backed by white supremacist groups and by misogynists and xenophobes and all this shit, right?
Okay, so he would even be backed by some of the Iraq and Iran policies and all
He's totally in the pocket of Putin.
Okay.
Putin paid him.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
On Fox News even, he's getting interviewed and he looks up and overhead, you don't see it in the shot, but they said that overhead there was a strange balloon. Overhead, he looks up, sees this fucking Chinese surveillance balloon, and points at it and smiles.
Okay.
Does nothing about it. We know that at least 3 flew over while he was in office. Every one of those things that's come over since Biden's been in office has been shot the fuck down. And they're criticizing him for not shooting them down over populated areas. Yeah.
No shit.
It's called casualties, motherfucker. Why? Of course he's going to wait until they're over the water to fucking shoot them down.
Yeah,
that way nobody gets hurt.
And I'm not even sure how big those things are, but from what they're
Oh, well, he's a pussy because he wouldn't shoot him down. Oh, really, motherfucker? Because guess what? I hope one of these times he doesn't wait for it to be over the water to shoot it down, and I hope it lands right on top of your big fucking head.
Bye-bye, sucker. Those things are not small.
No, they're not. The gear on them weighs about 1,000 pounds. Nice.
It is, though. For real.
Yeah.
The look and all.
Anyway, so, yeah, it's just unreal to me, like, the level of how he's managed to brainwash so many people.
Okay.
Relatively intelligent people, as well as the stupid, ignorant ones. And granted, there are far more stupid, ignorant ones. But even rational people are buying into his bullshit because so much of it is out there.
Okay, can we talk about also another subject that just popped into my head? What about them talking about not having us do daylight savings time anymore?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's not just daylight savings time. They are trying to do away with time zones.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Right? Now, here's the thing about that.
There's 2 hours between me and you right now.
Right. What that's going to accomplish is it's going to, A, confuse the fuck out of everybody.
And the plants. The earth.
Right? B, we're going to end up fucking ourselves in the long run because the reason why there was time zones and daylight savings time to begin with was to factor in the position of the sun at any given point. So when it's noon here and the sun is straight overhead, which is what fucking noon is,
Yeah.
it's like 10 a.m. or it's like
It's 2 over there.
it's 2 a.m.
It's 2 p.m.
in Eastern time zone.
It'd be 2 p.m. actually.
Whatever, 2 p.m. 2 p.m. in the Eastern... Stop heckling me. 2 p.m. in the Eastern time zone. Right? That's for a reason. Because 2 p.m. and 12 noon do not look like each other. The warmth from the sun is not the same at those times, which factors into agriculture. In other words, our food.
It also factors into solar panels too, because
You ignorant fucks. It factors into everything. It's just, not to mention the confusion factor. Like, it's going to make things so fucking confusing.
yeah, it's
Because
not really accurate.
we've had time zones for like a
Eons.
long ass time.
Yeah, even before
We've had time zones since like, I'd have to look up exactly when they started it, but I know it's at least been 100 years that we've had time zones. So we are used to time zones. If you take the time zones away, nobody's going to be used to that shit. And then when you, like, let's say you travel from let's say, Ohio to Albuquerque by plane, and it says it's the same fucking time you left.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
So the whole thing is just going to blow up in the face. But hey, go ahead. It's because I kind of feel like Titus was saying in one of his specials, like, why dads are better parents. It's because moms give knowledge, whereas dads make you earn knowledge, right? Because a mom sees a little kid trying to stick his little pudgy finger into a light socket, she smacks his hand, and he stops for a little bit, but then he tries it again. Whereas a dad would be like, no, wait. Bzzz. Yeah! Shot your ass about 8 feet. Not gonna do that again, are ya? That's kind of how I feel about this shit. Is like, Like, they're that little fucking toddler about to stick their finger in the light socket, and the best way to teach them is to let them fucking do it.
I did bobby pins when I was about
But I'm telling you
5.
right now, I'm sticking with the same time.
Well, yeah.
I'm sticking with the same time the way I always have. As far as I'm concerned, we are in Mountain Standard Time. Period.
Well, it makes sense because the position of the sun. Yeah, it makes sense.
But it illustrates that they're fucking with too much. They're becoming too ignorant and too arrogant. Too ants they should never be.
Agreed on that. It's almost like they're trying to take the act of creation out of the equation, and you can't really.
No. You can't talk about creation. You can't talk about creation because if you talk about creation, it's got to be by the Christian idea of Adam and Eve and blah 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 and all this bullshit that makes no sense, that could not have happened. Okay? Because let's face it, the GOP is quote unquote Christian. They're not like the Christians I'm used to. They're actually nice, sweet, caring people. No. Can't be that kind of Christian. They're the kind of Christians that fucking Kristen is, who I know my listeners don't know who Kristen is, but she is a world-class cunt that sits in judgment of everyone that she sees as under her.
And that would include me.
Does not care for anyone that is not white, to the point where her half Native American daughter had to dye her hair so she didn't look quite so native. That's the kind of Christian the fucking GOP is. In other words, not Christian at all. They're just using the title. And you know, I'm not the kind of guy that bashes on anybody for their religious beliefs. As long as you aren't harming anyone else, I don't give a shit what you believe in. You could be Baptist, you could be Muslim, you could be pagan, you could be Wiccan, you could be from the holy moly of Jim Carrey. Alrighty then. I don't care.
Fine.
Whatever the fuck you believe in is your fucking business, as long as you're not hurting anybody else. But if you're like Scientology and you're harming everybody around you with your own fucking indoctrination, then yeah, I'm gonna have an issue with them.
Okay.
And it's the same thing with fucking politics. I don't give a shit if you're Republican or Democrat. But when you start infringing on the rights and the freedoms of other fucking people that you don't fucking agree with,
that's belittling somebody. You can't do that shit.
we either all have rights and freedom or none of us do. Because the last time I fucking checked, you fucking Trump worshipping fucking morons, it was called the United States of America. Not the Trump States of America, not the GOP States of America, or the Christian States of America. It was called the United States of America. Look up what the word fucking united means, asshole. It means everybody. Gay, straight, trans, black, white, does not fucking matter.
We all bleed the same color.
We're all pink on the inside. It's just fucking unreal to me that people can be this fucking stupid. No, actually, no, it's not. I've known people were this fucking stupid for a long time. I just didn't think the idiots would ever be in power. Is really what it is. I never expected that would be in office. I never expected that, gee, boy, you got a pretty mouth, would be in office.
Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's a movie star. He became a governor.
He actually did pretty good, though.
He actually did pretty decent, except for the whole fucking his maid thing.
Well, of course not. What do you expect?
But that,
Good thing I missed.
I will say this, right? Just like with Clinton, right? He did something wrong. You do something wrong, you should be punished for it. Right? I don't have an issue with that. But since when is fucking around on your wife political? Because I seem to
of national news.
Right. I seem to remember quite a few presidents that would fuck around on their wives.
So it more or less became like a nightly, like they have, during the day they have those soap operas. Now you have your nightly soap operas with CNN talking about Monica Lewinsky sucking Bill Clinton's ding-a-ling.
Or Fox News talking about the newest fucking lie. Yeah.
All in part to have a distraction or a misdirection against what was really going on.
And here's how chaotic and stupid this shit is. San Andreas Fault, like I said earlier, also, they came out and said that aliens exist and nobody noticed.
And the rest of us are going, yeah, we know, thanks. Not right now! Okay.
Exactly, not right now. We've got bigger fish to fry. We've got fucking Trump, we've got COVID, which is being made worse because Trump did nothing. And anybody that says otherwise is... Look, anybody that can support Trump at this fucking point is a traitor.
Yeah.
By proxy. Whether you mean to or not. You're a traitor by proxy. Because that's what he did. He committed 4 separate acts of treason, 2 separate acts of espionage. And the people at the Capitol that he was trying to kill acquitted him. Which boggles my fucking mind. It just makes me think, what does he have on you? What did he have somebody take pictures of you blowing the altar boy? What the fuck? And, well, everybody except for Margaret Taylor Greene, that cunt just needs to fucking go. First off, let's look at her qualifications. She got her GED just before becoming a congresswoman. Oh, we are almost out of time. I think we're going to have to do a part 2.
Oh, hell no. Batter up.
All right. Part 2 coming up.